It's Foods for a Heat Wave today on Let's Cook. It's so hot, this is doing nothing. Oh, it's not going to do anything for me in our heat wave menu today. For the heat wave menu, you think about the summertime and maybe you're making something, you're going to serve it outside. It's hot outside. So on today's menu, we have a potato salad where we're going to be making a spiced onion relish that not only can you use to make a potato salad, you can use it as a condiment with almost anything in the summer. Then we're doing a tuna tartare Napoleon with a sweet soy and wasabi dressing. And then we're going to be doing a butter braised bok choy that definitely has some heat to it. So it's definitely a heat wave today on Let's Cook. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious spiced up potato salad with onion relish. Don't go anywhere. It's a heat wave today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where now I'm going to show you how to make a really spiced up potato salad with an onion relish. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat my pan here, and into this pan, olive oil or safflower oil, doesn't matter, just a little bit. And we're going to just slowly cook some onions here. Now I'm using white onions, but you could use a Spanish onion, household onion, doesn't matter. But when you cut the onion, you're going to cut the onion relatively large. So we'll just cut the onion down right about, just like this. Real nice medium dice on the onion. So let me just do one more here. So we're going to use a little bit of this onion, and we're actually going to sweat this. Now the term when we talk about sweating something, that means that we're going to cook it in a little bit of fat without really browning it. So I'm just going to start my onions right in the pan here, and making sure that the pan is not too hot so it doesn't really brown up. Next, remember where I said it's spiced here? We have a habanero or a Scotch bonnet. Super hot chili. The seeds are extremely hot. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to leave, I like it very hot. I'm actually only going to use half of this though, because that's how hot it is. So right with the onions, I'll put in this habanero. Now, if you prefer to use, let's say you can't get a habanero, you want to use a different chili, go right ahead. But this is going to be very hot. And the nice thing about the heat of this is, first of all, if you've cut it with your hands or fingers, don't touch them. Second thing is it releases its heat and it kind of gets you in the back when you cook it this way. So the other thing that we're going to use for the relish here is I have a little bit of garlic. Now, the garlic I actually want to show in the relish, so we're just going to take the garlic and we're just going to slice it up really nice and thin. Just in nice thin pieces of garlic here that we can just put right into the onions. If you also, here's a trick now, if you don't want anything to brown, what you can do is you can cover it too. So I have my garlic in there. I'm going to add some diced tomatoes to this now too. We'll then season this with a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. What we do with our relish now is we take this and you're going to cook this for about a half an hour in this pan at a very low heat with the lid on it. So we cover this, and every once in a while, keeping it not even at a simmer, we're going to keep it at a very low heat and just let it gently sweat where the onions get soft, they get translucent, but they don't get brown. Right over here, I have exactly what's going to happen to it. And we have one in the pan right here, so you can take a look at it and you can see we have no browning of the onions. We have nothing going on here. The tomatoes have gotten soft. They've actually colored the onions a little bit. To this now, I'm going to add some stock. And what we're going to do with the stock is we're just going to add enough stock, chicken stock, to cover our onions. This is where we now allow this just to cook down and simmer down just until the liquid, the chicken stock, is evaporating. That's going to be the relish for my potato salad. Now, to make the salad, and this is, again, you're going to cook your potatoes ahead of time. I have some potatoes right here that I've already cooked, and I'm just going to take the potatoes now And with the paring knife, just going to cut them up so that they're bite size. I leave the jackets right on the potatoes here. So if they're really small like this, we'll do that. If they're a little larger this way, cut them down this way. Then we just dice up our potatoes, again, with the skins on. Now, the way that you tell if a potato is done and you're cooking a potato is you're going to cook it in salted water. Make sure you wash the potatoes first. Even though the skins are on, you still need to wash the potatoes. And then what we do is we simply cook it in boiling water with salt until when you insert a fork, the fork goes into the middle of the potato and it goes in relatively easy. Then when you pull it out of the water, the potato should actually fall off of the fork. Now, the other thing is, it's a general rule of thumb. If you're going to cook something and then stop the cooking process, which means to shock it, which you normally do if the product grows below the dirt, like a potato, what you do is you shock it just with temperature, which means you just put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down. If you still have the skins on it this way, what you can do is you can very quickly take it, drop it in ice water, then take it out of that ice water right away and put it in the refrigerator. That way it won't bring up the temperature of your refrigerator. So we're just going to cut up these potatoes. I think I have enough in here now. And my relish is almost done here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of liquid in that relish because the potatoes are then going to absorb it. So you can serve this hot, room temperature, or cold. Again, there's no mayonnaise, anything of that nature in it. With the scallions now, I'm just going to take the white parts of the scallions here. I'm going to cut them down this way. Then I'm going to save a few of the green parts right here because that's going to be the garnish for my salad. Cut the rest of this up here. This goes into my potatoes as well. Let's take a look. See how I'm almost dry here? This is almost dry enough now. There's enough moisture there. If I was going to make this as a relish, let's say as a condiment for, let's say, grilled meat or fish or something like that, I would let it cook a little bit more. However, for my potato salad now, it's now good to go. So we put that in there while it's hot. We toss this around. What's going to end up happening, and you just let this sit in the refrigerator, the potatoes are going to absorb that flavor and that color. Then for the garnish, we take our scallion tops here and we cut these in very, very thin strips, just like this, as thin as you can cut them with your knife. Cut them down really nice and thin, real thin. And then what we do with these is we take them, we put them in ice water like this, and you see how nice these curl up? Isn't that great? So to plate this, any plate that you like, but we're just going to take this now, pick up our potato salad. Now remember, this would sit in the refrigerator. We get very cold. Just take this, set this up in the middle of the plate. Oh, and this relish is out of this world. I got this idea from my friend Paul Dillon, and then we just garnish this on the top with the scallions right there. That's my spiced, or you could even call it a habanero chili potato salad. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're talking tuna tartare with a delicious sweet soy wasabi dressing. Don't go anywhere. We're having a heat wave today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Let's Cook. I don't think in the heat wave I'd be going golfing, but I might be whistling and maybe doing a little bit of fishing because we're doing tuna next. I don't even know where that came from, but it works for me now. We're going to be doing a tuna tartare. So the first thing that I have to do is I have to make a little bit of a dressing. So to make the dressing, what I'm going to be using here is I have some lemon juice. I have some wasabi, just horseradish. I have some sweet soy sauce here, a little bit of oil, and I have some very finely cut brunoise of red pepper. Now, this is going to actually be the dressing for my tuna. So I have this mixed together nicely now. My tuna is still in the refrigerator. I need to keep that ice cold. Now, the other thing that I have, it's right over here. I have a little bit of oil here. And I bought some flatbread or some lavash. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm simply going to take this and cut this into triangles. Easiest way is to take it, cut it the same this way, then take these pieces, put them on top of each other. Put this on the side over here. Here's a triangle. Here's a triangle. Triangle. And they don't have to be perfect, but you see how we have, my triangles are already done, minimum cutting. And what I do with these is I simply take these and I'm going to fry these. I'm actually going to pan fry these in a little bit of, this is in actually safflower oil. These can be done ahead. Don't overcrowd the pan. We're just going to brown those in the safflower oil. Now, let's see here. My spatula over here. We just want to make sure that they get nice and brown. You see how nice and brown this is right here? So we're just going to have to turn them over till they get nice and brown like that. Okay, let's see if they're, oh, see they're almost ready. Great. Again, this is going to just be a nice little textural thing to go with our tuna. Now the tuna, I have sushi or sashimi grade tuna. Couple of things that are going on in markets right now is where you can go and they have the IQF, the individually quick frozen, that is vacuum packed or it's sealed, that is quick frozen and individual. And it has a different color than the tuna you might see that is fresh in the market, but they'll tell you if it is sushi or a sashimi grade tuna. So I have that done. Now I'm going to get out a beautiful piece of tuna, which I kept very cold. And as a matter of fact, not only do I have my tuna cold, but I actually have the plate that I'm going to serve the tartare on as well in the refrigerator, because we need to keep this ice cold. Now, when you go to the market and you go to buy tuna, you're going to see it like this, or it'll be cut into steaks. A couple of things you'll look for. It should have, the tuna should be shiny. See how it's almost iridescent there? Now, the other thing is that the skin is still attached to this. Normally, where the skin is right here, you see this part right here? You have quite a bit of sinew there. So that when you buy it at the market, if they remove the skin, they go, you know, they're going by weight here. So they're going to cut it right here. I'm going to show you where, even if you buy steaks, you get it with the skin on because you can use that meat. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to come up right here. About, let's say, 1/4 of an inch right there. That's about 1/4 of an inch here. And I'm just going to cut this across this way. Then we're going to take our tuna. That's going to go back in the refrigerator because that's for steaks. Now you see what I have right here? What I'm going to do with this is with my knife, I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to turn it this way and go across this way. Just going back and forth, because then what ends up happening is, see what I can do? You see how I can just get all that meat out of there and I'm leaving all the sinew behind? Perfect. Now, if you'd like, that's one way of doing it. Now, some people might say, but I like it just diced, Paul, and I don't like it with the sinew. So then what you can do is, if you'd like, just take a nice piece of tuna this way, cut it, or have the person you're buying your fish from cut it down this nice and thin like this. Then you can take this and you can actually just dice it, which a lot of restaurants are doing now, where when they're serving the tuna tartare, they're just dicing it this way. Again, remember, everything needs to be impeccably clean and you need to keep this as cold as possible. Also, do not put ice on it. Do not let water come in touch with it, because if the ice or the water comes in contact with it, it can contaminate it. The best thing to do is when you get your seafood, if they have not wrapped it in freezer paper, wrap it in freezer paper. So I'll put this into my bowl right here. Now, let me just get rid of this here too. Again, remember, we need to keep everything clean. I'm now going to put my tuna back in the refrigerator here, and I'm going to get out my chilled plate. Here's my tuna right here. All I'm going to do right now is take most of my dressing right here in with the tuna. I left a little bit of dressing here because I have these sprouts right here that I'm going to use. These are different types of sprouts. I'm using some, well, they're called spicy sprouts because there's radish, onion, and garlic sprouts in here. I take this, I put this into this right here. Now I'm almost ready to assemble this. Once I mix my tuna in with the dressing. Okay, now, the only other thing I have to do, because I may have to touch the sprouts, I'm going to wash your hands again. You want to keep everything impeccably clean when you do this. To build the plate now, I'm going to take some of my spicy sprouts right here. And you can set this up any way you want. But these spicy sprouts, I came across them in the market, and I thought they were terrific. Then I'm going to use actually a cookie cutter right here. I'm going to set this up right here and put my tuna down into this. And then basically I'm going to pack the tuna down in and press it with my spoon to make sure that it's nice and firm. Beautiful. So here's my tuna. And again, remember I had the soy sauce in there, so I really don't need any salt. We just pick that up that way. Then we take our nice lavash bread here, and you just kind of set this up just in the tuna. You don't want to destroy it. You can actually just kind of push it in there till you find a space. Then you can set this up so you have these wonderful pieces of lavash bread to go with your tuna. We're going to take a little break, and then when I come back, we're going to be making a little bit of butter braised bok choy with definitely some heat in it because it's a heat wave today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Heat Wave today on Let's Cook. Now, the last item that we're doing for today is it's actually a butter braised baby bok choy. Now, I have this baby bok choy right here. Now, when you buy baby bok choy, there are different varieties, but what you're going to do is you're going to cut this in half so that it stays together. Now, dirt and bugs can be on the inside of this. So what you need to do is you need to take off the end this way, but you leave that little core there so it can stay together when you braise it. Then you take these, you put them in water with a little bit of salt in the water. The reason we have salt in the water is that's going to draw the bugs out. So, and make sure there's no dirt. So you go back and forth and you really wash this well. Now, yeah, because sometimes, the dirt or the bugs can actually be in there. So now all I do is I set these up in a pan. I'm going to put the heat on. Now, this is butter braised. So I don't really have to saute this in the butter, which would normally be a braising process. What I do need to do is I do need to add some butter to this. Then I need to add some chicken stock to this. Season it with some salt and pepper. This is such a simple item to make. Again, remember, you really want to keep things simple. The other thing I need to put in this is I have a poblano chili here. Again, it's heat wave. I'm just going to take a little bit of poblano chili as well. Cut this down this way, and this is not going to be overly hot. Then we'll just take this, we dice this up this way, and we add this to our bok choy as well with the butter. Also, 1 clove of garlic in there. We simply take this now, cover this. You're going to simmer it for 6 to 8 minutes. Covered. This is what it looks like when it's done. See how gorgeous that looks? How it's all simmering there? It's nice and tender. Now what we'll do is we'll remove our bok choy. Set that up onto a plate here. Doesn't that look fabulous? See, it looks alive, doesn't it? Then we simply take our cooking liquid right here and we cook this down, and you're really going to reduce this down so it's almost like a glaze. Once it's almost at that glaze stage, and I can actually remove my garlic cloves now too, unless of course you want to serve them with it. But we're going to reduce this down. Then as this is reducing down, we're going to add a little bit of finely diced red pepper. When it's totally reduced down, we have our lemon zest there. And if you want, you can even add a little bit of sesame seed to the dish when it's done. So then we just take this down. Once it's reduced down, our braising liquid, We put this on top of our butter braised baby bok choy and finish it with a little bit of toasted or black sesame seeds. It's a great item for a heat wave in the summer. You can also do the same thing, make this sauce without the bok choy and grill the bok choy and serve it with the sauce. Thank you for watching me today on Let's Cook, where we're celebrating a heat wave. We did some delicious food today. We did a wonderful spicy potato salad. We did a wonderful braised bok choy, and of course our tuna tartare. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.